Should I just start?
Yeah, start.
All right. Welcome to the Late 90s podcast. At the moment, there are three of us in call. I'm Dean, and I'm here with Juan and Alexis, but you probably already knew that. On this channel, we'll be posting recorded conversations with our friends of really whatever the hell we want to talk about. We'll also be posting some the pre-interviews that we do from the chats we have with students over from the Unibeans podcast whenever we make one of those. But with that said, this is our very first episode of the Late 90s, so we're not really sure how things will turn out, but what we're aiming for is just a really fun conversation. But yeah, I guess whenever we have this link, 250 conversation starters, although should we just jump right into that, or what are we thinking?
I was thinking how do we start conversations? So like before hitting
in general,
random
or?
people.
You mean when you meet someone on the street, basically?
Yeah, like, or how do you specifically? When you showed up to university, how did you
Oh, it was horrible when I showed up to university. Are you kidding? Because like because I drove all the way here. It was like a 17-hour car ride, and I like the entire car ride, I was like in my head like trying to figure out the best way to introduce myself. I'm not kidding. I was like, because I was thinking like, okay, I could start with like, hi, my name is Alexis and I'm from here and I studied this and that and that. But I was always trying to tweak it because like one would be too pretentious, and one would be like overly like trying too hard, then one would be like too humble, and then one would be like, I was really stressed about it. Like, I'm not kidding. Like the worst part about like the first 2-3 days of uni was actually the drive up beforehand, because I was so scared of like basically me going hi and everyone just immediately going ew.
Wait, but what situation were you in? Like, did you know that you were...
I knew...
How did people meet each other?
So I knew that at my university I'd be placed in a college with a bunch of other students, and I'd be living like in a corridor with them collectively as a group. And so when I showed up, I knew that I would be assigned to this like random corridor with random people, and I knew that like I had some inkling of an idea that was going to be the core group that I would spend Freshers Week with.
Right.
And there's like a 2-day move-in period, like primary move-in period. So like people would come and go like on those 2 days. So I knew that like when I showed up, like some rooms were empty, some were already occupied by the people who got there a few hours earlier. Some people would come the next day. And once everyone was settled in, they told us like, okay, like 2 days from now, or like tomorrow morning, whenever, we're all going to meet up in the lounge, which is basically just a small room with a couple couches on it, and we're all going to introduce ourselves. We're going to play some icebreaker games, right?
Oh no.
Yeah. And like before this we had the car ride, and then when I was actually there and I was in my room, I was setting up my room, getting everything organized, unpacking. But in the meantime, I had my door open because I thought, I'll be sociable, I'll leave my door open so anyone could just walk in and say hi. Obviously no one's going to do that if you don't know anyone, but okay. I did it because I thought it'd be fun. In the meantime, I knew that someone else had their door open somewhere further down the hall. That person later turned out to be Ali, who's a good friend of mine now. But at the time, I could hear a bunch of voices coming from that room. And I knew I could tell that there were like at least 6 or 7 people in there, and they were all like talking with each other, getting to know each other. But I came kind of late during the day, so I was too scared to kind of go over and like say hi and introduce myself, because I thought, oh, these people have already all been together for like 4 or 5 hours now. They all know each other. I don't know them. I just want to like show up and be like, hi guys, can I join in? I really didn't want to do that. So I was really, really like, I don't know.
Oh, that's the worst when you go somewhere and you're meeting people for the first time and you know that they already are somewhat familiar with each other.
Yeah. But see, I didn't know how familiar they were with each other, because I knew that there was a chance that some of them had been there for a week already, because they had the international freshers would show up a week before. So I didn't know who in that room had already been here and who had like just arrived that same day. So I didn't actually know how much everyone knew about each other yet. And I'm pretty like, I can be pretty extroverted, but when I first meet people, I tend to be very introverted. So I was very kind of scared to like walk into the room and go up and say hi. So I waited it out essentially for like 24 hours, waited for the icebreaker games to come around, and then very slowly acclimatized. But I mean, that was like just the start of university. That's not a typical situation, but yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay. But something a little bit irrelevant while you were saying that, because I have a cup of tea I'm making.
Yeah.
And like this has never happened before, but as I was like putting the tea bag in, the string just snaps off. And now I'm left with a singular tea bag without the string in my cup.
Well, you know,
wait,
that sounds...
how do you guys? Okay, we're going off topic now, but how do you guys drink your tea? Do you remove
Well,
the tea bag?
Actually, hang on that. See that the tea bag, the string breaking is a problem for you. I agree. I think it's terrible. But did you know that, like here in the UK, that's the norm? Not
removing the tea bag.
No,
the tea
the
string.
The tea bags here are not rectangular or square packets. They're round
it's
packets.
A circle. Yeah,
they're round
I've
packets,
seen
and they don't have a string attached. They're just loose packets, so you throw them in the teacup, and then you have to take a spoon to fish it out later.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this. I showed up like, how do you guys like? I bought tea to like make tea for myself, and it's just this, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get the tea bag out? I'm supposed to like burn my fingers. Like, I didn't get it. And everyone was like, well, you just use a spoon. I'm like, but why don't you just have a string? It's so much easier.
Well, back to your question, Juan, when you said, do you
remove the tea bag before drinking? Yeah.
Yes, I do. Do you not?
I never do.
What?
What?
I do as well. What?
I'm too lazy.
What?
Maniac!
I know.
How?
I know
Why? Yo,
like that.
then I do a second cup with the same thing, with the same bag.
No. It's disgusting.
Okay, the reason why I don't is because I know that if the longer I leave it in there, it's probably gonna get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
even though it does get stronger over time, it's not like it becomes too strong for my taste, but like just that knowing that I like that assurance that my tea is at a constant level of strengthness when I drink it, and not evolving over time. Like that's too much chaos for my head.
It's like the more you drink, the less water there is, so the higher the concentration of tea.
Exactly.
Weak. I'm just built different, I guess.
You're built worse.
That explains a lot, really. Anyways, back to the conversation starters.
Wait, what was it like when you got into your uni last year?
Me?
Yeah, when you met people for the first time.
Well, from what I remember, I should have, like 4 days before class started, had to go to a hostel, then had to go put in papers and everything. And then once I was finally free, I went into the class group chat that they put me in. And no one sent any messages. But someone from the second year sent a message saying there will be like a sort of get-together party thing the night before the first day of class. And I was like, oh, sweet, this is going to be fun. And then they're like, due to unforeseen circumstances, that's cancelled. So we'll meet you guys at the metro stop before going to class the next day.
Oh no, an impromptu meetup?
It was like
Those
that.
Are the worst.
And it really was. I just remember thinking, fuck, I'm gonna show up late to the metro station. Luckily I showed up on time. And I just remember going up to an Italian guy and a Brazilian guy. And I'm just like, hey, I'm Juan. You know, the casual, I'm Juan. And they're like, oh, hey. And then we sort of just stood there, everyone in silence, awkward silence. The second years kind of talking to themselves. And then they're like, all right, we'll take you now to your class. And so I sort of stuck to the Italian guy and the Brazilian guy for a bit. And we were just talking a bit, saying where we were from and what we studied. And then we show up.
Was there no lobbying?
Everyone's like, great.
We were at the metro station, yeah. And we had to get on the bus, which we didn't know which bus. Half of us couldn't even get on the first bus because it was so full. We get to our university, and they're like, all right, we're going to wait for the other people to show up now. They show up, and they're like, all right, let's go inside. We go inside, we go to a random meeting room, and the second years give like a 20-minute presentation on what the course is like. At this moment, I've only talked to like 2 or 3 people.
The second years gave the presentation?
The second years gave a presentation on what the university
was this like a formal presentation of the course, or was it
impromptu?
Just like more of
it was like an impromptu. The second years did it for the first years, sort of thing.
Okay, but it wasn't
like a tradition.
Okay, but it wasn't the university introducing you to the course.
No.
Okay, yeah.
No. And they're like, all right, yeah, and now the first class you're gonna have is chemistry. And we just got up and went to a random classroom and straight up just started having chemistry. No icebreakers, nothing.
Damn.
So your school really is just like, there you go, class starts now.
We really had like a full day of class. We finished at like 3:30 the first day. And most of us were just surprised by it. And then no one knew how to get back to the center of Milan because the second years already disappeared.
Wow. So they're like, our job is done.
Yeah. We're like,
we've got our study points, we helped you.
We're they're like, how do we get back to the center of Milan? And I remember half of us were like, we have to take the metro. We started following Google Maps, going towards the metro stop, and we didn't know of a shortcut that then I started using a lot more. But basically, the metro stop from the university to walk was like, I think 3 kilometers, going the long way. And the shortcut we found shortened it down to 1.5 kilometers or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And so I was walking these 3 kilometers with like 20 people more or less. And that's when I started talking to everyone.
They travel in herds.
Yeah, really though. The medical students were traveling in herds that day. And I remember I was talking to a Polish girl and she kept asking me about the European Baccalaureate because it's something she never heard of but was super interested in. And I'm just like...
Oh yeah,
it's
very
just
exciting.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, it's just a normal thing, you know. We do French as a second language, history second language, you know.
The amount of times I've had to explain the European Baccalaureate to people is like uncountable. Like I've gotten pretty good at it now because usually what I basically fall because a lot of people know what IB is. A lot of people know that,
but no one knows UB.
And a lot of people know like roughly how it works and what the classes are. So I essentially just go ahead and tell them, oh, the EB is like the IB. But it focuses. It has a heavy focus on like an emphasis on language learning, and instead of getting scored 1 to 7 with a grade point average, you get scored from 1 to 10, and then like I'll tell them a little bit about like the classes individually, but that's basically all I tell them because then at least they have like some general idea of what I'm talking about. But otherwise, like I try not to go into too much detail because they're always so shocked by it. Because at A levels, which is predominantly what people here have done. They do 3 subjects, maybe 4 sometimes on exception, and we do like 10 to 11, and it's just like that's mind blowing for them.
Wow, yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah,
yeah. It doesn't make sense to them. It's like telling a 6-year-old that space is infinite. It's just like what? The brain does not grasp it. And then after some explanation, they sort of start to understand. But you can tell by like the look in their eyes that they say they understand, they nod as if they understand, but you know that they don't really understand.
Yeah.
So I sort of try to avoid the topic altogether.
Have you found other people from EB in your course or your university?
Actually, no, but what I have found, which is kind of creepy, is that, so I don't know anyone in my uni who did EB, not a single person. But very interestingly, what I did find was that one time I was waiting in line to get lunch, and this Indian girl standing next to me, in front of me in line. We have our trays on the line and we're about to like scoop up food. And she just turns to me and goes, "You're Alexis, right?" And I'm like,
what the fuck?
Yes?
Oh, yeah. Your name's going around the school.
No.
Damn,
and I'm like,
popular boy.
no. And she just turns to me, right? Because I said, "Oh yeah, I'm Alexis." And I was like, "Are you Oscar's brother?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "Excuse me?" At this point I was like, "What?" So I asked her a bit. I'm like, "What? How do you know Oscar?" Like, wait, what? And then I was like, "No, because I know another guy called Oscar, like Oscar Swan." And I'm like,
Oscar Swan.
me? Yeah, what?
How do they trace him to you?
Okay, so as it turns out, she didn't do EB, but she went to one of the accredited schools for a few years.
Okay.
So she didn't actually finish EB. I think she ended up doing IB in the end, but she did a couple years accredited schools near Brussels, or in Brussels. I think she is Belgian. I think Belgian, as far as you can call it that. And she met Oscar Swan when he was doing she met Oscar Swan at one of those like European like school parties one time, and then again for his like Cambridge interviews when Oscar Swan went to do his case, she met him again. So she knew who Oscar Swan was, And through Oscar Swan, she knew who my brother was, and then somehow through her, she knew who I was.
So she knew two Oscars before knowing.
Exactly. Yeah, she knew two Oscars. She knew two Oscars, and she knew one of the Oscars, and so she got to know my brother Oscar. Like she met him once, I think, somehow one time. I know that
Right.
they have met. So she met him once, but I told my brother about this one time. He doesn't remember this, so it was really one of those like awkward like one time occasions. But okay.
Might have been your brother's stalker or something.
No,
Who
but
knows?
genuinely, so she knows Oscar Swan. She meets Oscar one time, and then somehow, at some point, she finds out she sees me around uni, and then I guess I don't know somehow finds out that I am related to Oscar Francophore, and then asks me about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I know her. Now I know who she is, and like her name's Nikita, and she's really nice and all. But it was really weird. It's really weird.
Wow, that's
like-
actually amazing.
Yeah, and it was the only time that I found someone who knew anything at all about the European Baccalaureate. But it was just bizarre. It was like, what?
I was genuinely surprised when I showed up to Milan. So the entire like medical school from year 1 to year 6, there's probably like 300 students. There was one other EB student, and I was like, oh my god, yes. I was like, oh, someone knows EB, fuck yeah. And he studied in Brussels as well, so I was like, awesome, sweet, someone who knows EB. But that was the only other time I met someone from EB from outside. What about you, Dean?
What about me?
EB? Did you find any EB? And how was your first day of university like?
What do you mean? Did I find any EB?
Any EB
mean-
students?
Oh, actually, I that's something I never asked the people in my year. I guess I think the only times I would mention the EB is when someone asks me like, what school did you come from before this? And I would say European school, and then briefly mention, oh yes, the European Baccalaureate, but I think that's the extent of that. Yeah, I never really talked about it with other people. Yeah, but I remember the first time I went to my school because I'm a little bit surprised by yours because you say the school basically just started class.
They just
Yeah, that
Before,
is surprising.
we
They didn't have
we
any
didn't
form
even-
of like.
nothing.
Was
Like,
it at
we-
least like a bit more of a relaxed schedule the first week, or was it just full
we had
on?
chemistry, and then straight after chemistry it was, I believe we started with cells as well.
Maybe the second
the
year's
solid
planned
stuff.
that you wouldn't know how to find your way back to the center, and that was really the icebreaker, walking back together.
I doubt it.
in a like live or die situation. See how they
I
bond.
kind of doubt it, but maybe, but I don't know. But then they like I think 2 weeks after they planned a sort of a get together because in Italy they do instead of going to clubs and stuff, they do aperitivos.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it's basically
right.
like you go to a bar and you pay like super cheap and you get a all you can eat buffet, like snacks buffet sort of thing, and a drink. And so we did that one night. And that was sort of the icebreaker, even though all the first years already knew each other.
Okay, I see.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my school did have a sort of like a one day. It was like a get together where we listened to a speaker talk about, I don't know, motivations for design and whatnot, the very general stuff. And then after that, I think it was a student council who was in charge, but they threw a party. So there was like a get to know each other party. And then there was an after party, which was just like at a bar down the street. But from those, we didn't really meet, or at least I didn't really meet anyone from my year because it wasn't only for the first, the new students. It was,
it was for everyone.
Like it was for everyone, yeah. And I think the student council treats it more as like their own party, even though it's supposed to be organized for new students. But you're on the dance floor, and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I should meet some people here because I am in this school, and there are bound to be people. Like I know that in this room there are people who are in the same position as me, right? So I go around, and but most of the people, I would go up to someone and like, oh, this person or this guy looks cool, I was like, hey, how's it going? And blah blah blah. Oh, what year are you in? Oh, I'm in 4th year. Or I'm in the master's course. I'm like, I guess I won't be seeing you seeing you much then.
It's like when you're in school and you're like in year 2 secondary and you walk up to a 7th year.
Yeah, but like it's much harder to tell the difference here because everyone, like, you don't know how old they are. There are 27-year-olds in the 1st year, and then like 23-year-olds.
Yeah, like
in
one
the
of my
4th year.
tutorial leaders, like just graduated a few years previously. Like he's like genuinely like 27 or something, maybe 28, and he's just
Wow.
yeah, he still wears, because he went to the same universities I go to now, and he still wears like his jacket for like the university sports team that he played for, just casually, like when he's outside walking. So like I see him walking around, he looks like a student because he's wearing all the student merch and everything, and like, what?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember there was this girl during the after party where I had a full blown conversation with, like, we had probably like a 30-minute conversation, and I was like, oh, I'm really getting to know this person. And at the end of it, I went, wait, what year are you again? And she said, oh, I'm in the master's course. And in my mind, I went, oh, okay. Not only did I have such a long conversation with this person, which I find is really interesting, I'm not even gonna see her in let alone my class, but my entire course. She's doing something completely different. But yeah, I'd say that day, I met, and really not enough people maybe only 2 or 3 people that I recognized and ended up in my group. It really was like when classes started, and I kind of expected this. Like, when I was at the opening party, I guess, I thought to myself, I shouldn't treat this as like the one moment where if I don't get, familiar with people, I won't ever. Because I know that once class starts and we're going to have group projects and whatnot, everyone's going to know each other. So that sort of naturally went on like that.
I was just thinking now. In Milan, I actually really did like having the small courses, because we interacted a lot with like the upper years and everything, even though we didn't have any classes with them, but we interacted a lot. So I remember, I think it was in October last year, they had a party in the university campus itself, like in the library. There were beers, champagne, food. They brought in a band into the university library, and I was so surprised by it. And it was like the first time I opened a beer on a table and felt like a badass. And then everyone kept coming up.
Nice.
And then everyone kept coming up to me to open their beers on the table because I was the only one who could do it.
Really?
Really though, yeah.
Wow.
And I was surprised. I was like the badass,
Yeah.
They must say like, oh, this guy must be party animal.
At one point, I accidentally cut my thumb on one of the bottle caps, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm a medical student. Quickly, just wrapped it up in a napkin.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
And everyone's just there laughing, and I was like, what the fuck? And then, out of nowhere, some second-year girls who seemed like, that there's the ones that are like in charge of like the second year and stuff.
Yeah.
They came up to me, super drunk, started talking. And then I grabbed a random bag of chips for some reason because I was talking with some friends.
You were making moves with the beer bottle.
No. Hey, I was a taken man at the time. I was a taken man,
Okay.
And I'm just eating chips, and they're like, "Oh, can we have some chips? Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And like, "Oh my god, you're the best. You have to have lunch with us tomorrow morning, tomorrow during lunchtime. You have to sit with us." I'm like, what? Okay, what?
It scares me how convincing you do their voices, even though I've never met them.
Alright, but they genuinely sound like, you have to sit with us.
They remind me a lot of Martina.
Oh, yeah, I was getting Martina vibes from them. By the way, Martina's my sister, if anyone's listening to this. You'll probably hear more about her some other day, who cares? But yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And I don't know, I quite liked how like small of a community the medical course was. It was nice.
It's nice to have a smaller group.
It's nice. It is nice because there was also when we had like the actual like meeting with all the other years in a different aperitivo thing. I was having a conversation with another person, and she was in the 4th year, and I'm like, I sort of left the conversation fast because I was leaving with some friends. And I'm like, well, I'll never see them again, you know? And I was like, all right, that's cool. I won't see them again. And then the next day, they show up in my course giving a presentation on the International Students Union and stuff. And I'm like,
oh my god.
the fuck? I'm like, I kind of left the conversation with her mid-convo by accident. Oops. And I'm just like, well, guess I'm not joining this International Students Union anymore.
When you mentioned alcohol or like beer, it reminded me of the same day when I was put in the school building of the design academy, and they were having their it was before the party, and everyone was sitting to listen to some talks, and they said at some point, oh, by the way, after this, there's going to be a party, but yeah, have yourself some fun there. And I remember seeing like around almost every door of the university, it says no alcohol in school, right? Alcohol is forbidden in the school building. And then they say, there's a party after this, by the way, with a free complimentary alcohol. I was like, oh, okay. There's a little bit of a contradiction here, but I'm cool with it.
The university's like, for legal reasons, we can't recommend you drink alcohol. However,
as we are celebrating.
Yeah.
It's like someone goes up to your university, like an administrator comes over, and do your students drink alcohol? No. Like in the background, can opens. No.
What did I just hear? Oh, that's a student project.
Yeah,
no.
You know,
What do you teach them here? Oh, you know, just all sorts of projects, such as cool ways to open things among bottles, among other things. Just like
It's for a study. It's for a study.
I teach how to use liquid courage.
some guy has like a sculpture of like a pierced beer can. It's like, what's that for? Oh, it's an art project.
Yeah. There's a group of people getting like absolutely wasted on the floor. What? How do you explain? It's performance art.
Yeah,
They're doing a performance class.
There's a guy with a hidden camera just way over there filming this. You're in the shot.
But yeah, no, thinking about it, alcohol is a pretty good way to start a conversation, though.
It is, or it definitely makes it more
relaxing.
Nervous.
I remember another story was when I was doing the summer school at the SEK. On the first day, so I already sort of knew some people. I even invited myself to someone's dorm to just hang at his place before the party at night. And when we made it to the party, it was at a bar near the summer school place. And they were giving out free drinks, basically. And I automatically started with a beer. And since I was the only one who was from Belgium, quote unquote, from Belgium, because there was lots of international students, I was like, yeah, drink that. And then one guy gets a kriek.
Oh.
And then... And I'm like, you might want to drink that, away from any other Belgians, And then it started a conversation about the rules of drinking beer in Belgium, and like 4 other people joined in, and like another Belgian guy walked in, and he's like, "You're drinking a kriek? What the hell are you doing?" And the funniest part was, a week later, near the end of that, so they were all sharing dorms, not dorm rooms, but like the entire building. A week later, I overhear both of them saying, "Yo, I bought some more krieks. You want to come to my room tonight to drink them with me?" I'm just like, they're like, yeah, we can only drink this in private together without anyone seeing us. And I was just there laughing to myself.
Oh my god.
But alcohol makes friends.
God, alcohol, just love-hate relationship with it. It can be great, it can also be horrible.
I agree. Alcohol is an interesting thing.
Yeah, I feel like here we could go on an entire other session.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Just about yeah.
But I think it is good to have some alcohol in you. Some, not be drunk and start a conversation.
Like my favorite
someone.
thing to do is like, because our colleges, they each have like unique bars, like one for each college, where like all the students can go in and like drink and get like cheaper drinks than they normally could. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things to do, like at the time when I was still in college, was to just like go down to the bar and just get a pint with like 1 or 2 of my friends and just sit there and talk for a while. Be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to do that so often. Remember going to the Irish pub almost every weekend,
Yeah, that
Alexis?
was fun.
I genuinely miss that. It's a great conversation starter. It's a great excuse to meet up with people. So
Yeah, it is.
social drinking, everybody. We accept it.
I think maybe we should, if you guys are still
Go-
down, move on to
Go
that
back to
website.
conversation.
Yeah.
yeah, sure. So
Yes.
we
Yeah, I feel
we
like-
found a website. I think what we should do is answer the question and see would we actually use it for a conversation starter.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah.
Would you
Oh,
go
yeah.
up to a random person and be like, "Huh, what was the last funny video you saw?"
No, just already
Oh,
now.
no, like that?
absolutely
Like, no, not like that.
Honestly, these are all. None of this I would say, to be honest, to start go up to someone at a party.
They're
So
I think it's more-
They're all
I think it's more
unnecessarily
with
cringe.
friends or like if you have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
But
How-
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, we this website called conversationstarterworld.com, 250 conversation starters. Yeah, I guess maybe I'll leave the link in the description. I will see. For whoever's interested. But yeah, we can just start with number one. Go down.
Alright.
This is 250. We're not going to go through all of them, of
No,
course.
no. We'll pick.
We
We
Uh,
could just like
So
occasionally scroll to a random one and just pick the next
yeah. Also, so Alexis, what was the last funny video you saw?
one. Let me think. Okay, I think probably the last video that I watched where I genuinely like really laughed at it properly was, I think, because I recently I've been going back and like watching more nostalgic videos that I used to find funny in the past, like
Bisexual cancer.
no, like Dina, I've been watching like Day 9's Hearthstone streams as well,
Oh, yes.
because they're so funny and they're so
they're
entertaining.
so funny.
And because like a lot of
Oh.
the highlight reels that you find like on YouTube, like I remember like at least like 5 or 6 of them actually being there in the stream when it happened. So it's like very satisfying for me to watch those. But I think the last like funny video that I saw that I hadn't yet seen was like a week ago, a little over a week ago, when I was still back at home in the Netherlands, just before I came back. It's like a 1-minute clip from a podcast. Do you guys know who James Acaster is?
No.
No.
Okay, James Acaster and Ed Gamble. They're two like British comedians. Small time, not really big names or anything. I mean, in the UK they're pretty well known, but outside of that,
Right.
not really. And they like during like lockdown, they started a podcast called what is it, Off the Menu, where they get like celebrity guests to like talk to them for like an hour and a half, and then like the whole thing is dedicated to them just basically sitting in a dream restaurant, a dream cafe, and then like going through what their dream meal would be. Like if they could have any starter in the world, any main in the world, and any dessert and a drink, you know, what would that be? And it's like an hour talking about that. And one of these clips is like a 1-minute section where they have this guest, another comedian called Ramesh Ranganathan, I think is his name.
Okay.
This is all like a bunch of backstory to kind of get why, because it's really not funny outside of context, but okay.
Okay.
And I haven't listened to any of these podcasts, by the way. I just stumbled along this clip because I was like going down the YouTube rabbit hole.
Right, yeah.
And this guy, so this comedian is on the guest, the Ramesh. It gets to the end of, it's like near the end of the podcast, and they're talking about like his dessert, and basically they realize that his entire menu is actually just deep fried crap. Like, because he started out,
Right.
and so like Ed Gamble points this out, and he goes like, hang on, you do realize like when he gets the dessert, because he mentions that his perfect dessert would be like a donut. He's like, you do realize you just picked another deep fried thing, right? and he just like sits there and stares blankly, like with this face of like, what have I done? And then like everyone starts laughing their ass off because they realize, and then like he lists off the thing. Okay, let's just see: starter, deep fried chicken; main course, deep fried cauliflower; donut. And and donuts are deep fried as well. And that's the menu.
Wow, yeah.
And the whole podcast, he was being all like, "Oh, you know, all my dad would do is deep fry stuff, and I'm better than him." And he's like approaching food like with this like snobby attitude, but really he's just listing off 3 different deep fried foods, and then he had like this like iced tea Baja Blast drink on the side.
Oh god.
Could you send us the link to that later?
Yeah,
If you could find it, I want to watch it. How about you, Juan? What's the last funny video you saw?
Last funny video. I think
I know my answer. I know
Oh,
for me, but I'm wondering if it's the same one for you.
Last funny video. On YouTube, I'd say the last one was the one that we saw yesterday together.
Yeah.
When you disagree over best girl.
Oh,
I
that
know it.
one. Oh,
Wait, which other one are you talking about?
I was thinking about the video clip from, I forgot what movie it was.
Oh,
Dirt.
Dirt. That one was hilarious. That one's first. That one's better. Dirt.
What was the name of that movie?
I think it's called. I think it's Major Pain. I am not sure.
Major Pain.
I think it's called that, but Pain is spelled Payne.
Payne.
Yeah, it's called that. Yeah, it's that.
Oh, because it's like major as in as a
Yes.
title, not.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see.
And it's an amazing joke.
1995.
That's even better. Yes, where it's basically
Comedy
are
adventure.
you deaf? Yes, he is, sir. My apologies. Can you lip read? Can you read sign language? Yeah. All right. Well, you know, whatever. Blah blah blah. And then, are you clear? Dirt.
It's so sudden.
It's so sudden and.
It's on the same level as "Are you a bad girl?"
You're a bad girl. That's another
man.
quality video. We're making fun of deaf people. We love deaf people.
It's so like hilarious,
very
but
sudden.
like, you
It's
feel
very
bad about
sudden.
laughing at it at the same time.
Yeah, it's a very sudden kind of thing. You don't expect it. Which, yeah. But now, would you use this as a conversation starter?
No.
No, I don't think I would use
Even- I think-
most of these
Even
as a
with
conversation
friends.
starter.
Even with a friend.
With friends.
Also,
Yeah, because
probably not.
Because I think we're looking at it as in with random people, but I think it's also like when you're bored with a friend, what would you
Yeah,
start with?
even though with a friend,
that's
it's kind of
something-
weird
that's
to bring
something-
it up.
That's something we actually didn't touch. How do you start a conversation with a friend, not with a stranger, but how do you start with a friend?
Usually it's just, hey, what are you doing?
Hey,
You
You-
hopping on Discord tonight? We playing some
You
GTA?
awake? Are you
You awake,
asleep?
baby?
I
You
mean,
awake,
nowadays, like the last few months, if like the few times that I do like meet up with people here still, even though it's like it doesn't happen often, when it does, it usually like starts with like a quick like 15-minute just bitch and moan session about how shitty things are right now,
Yeah.
you know, and then it eventually progresses into just kind of like casual things or whatever else. It very slowly tends to that, but it usually starts with like, you know, hey, what's up? Oh, you know, just this shit again.
We'll see. People unite through pain.
Yeah, true.
I'd say we don't really even like
We don't really
start a
start-
conversation.
I mean,
it's just
if-
like you
if-
online,
when-
and we hop on the
Yeah.
voice call, and we sit there in
And we-
silence.
Yeah.
And we moan loudly on camera. Not on camera.
What?
we not moan.
In
Screaming
our
and moan.
raving sex orgies that we have here.
Yes. But more
I'm trying to
of
figure out which part of that was the joke.
because he knows it's the truth. It's the truth. Whenever Quentin gets on, right? How does he start?
Yeah. It was like today when I joined the call, Juan, you immediately mentioned, oh yeah, Dean has his speakers on. The first thing I do is just scream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a result of just beefs. Like, don't give a fuck anymore.
But now
The
here's
only
the real
amusement we
question.
get is to destroy our friends' ears over a call.
But now here's the real question: would you do that face to face though?
Are
when
you
see a
kidding?
friend?
No. I don't
Pathetic.
walk up to someone
Pathetic.
like in real life and then just scream.
I know what I'm doing next time I see you, Alexis.
But over Discord, it's like you're in their, you're in their ear as well.
Yeah.
In real life,
Oh, yeah.
there's a distance.
I think the
Yeah,
weirdest
especially
thing
now
I'll
with
do,
Corona.
like if I see like a friend of mine in the distance and I know I'm gonna meet up with them, I'll like if I see them from far away, I might do like a weird goofy dance or something, or I might like, I don't know, flail my arms, but I wouldn't.
Now, my favorite thing to do when I spot someone from a distance and they haven't spotted me is show up from behind. That's
Oh,
fun
the amount
thing
of
to
times
do.
you've done that to me.
I did it once in Milan as well to a friend. We were in a really public place. He was looking for me, and I just started sending him pictures of himself. Like, I'm right here. He's like, what the fuck? I was just sending him pictures of himself, and I was really close to him as well. And he just couldn't
That's
see me.
creepy.
And I just see him like looking around, like, what the fuck? So yeah, the art of disguise. It's great.
Okay. Pick a number from 1 to... No, actually, from 2 to
125.
250.
78.
All right, we'll do 78 first because it's the closest.
78, alright.
What
Wait,
will be the
it
future
takes
of
a little
TV
bit
shows?
to scroll all the way there.
What will be the future of TV shows?
What will be the future of TV shows?
How about we rank these from 1 to 10 on how great they are as conversation starters?
Yeah.
Okay, this one I think is better than the funny video one.
Definitely. This one, I'd give this one a 5 or 6.
Yeah.
What's the
But
best?
to use this one, you sort of have to have the conversation be about TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these are really weird to just suddenly
Which-
bring up.
Yeah, which, I mean...
There's
When
no
you start a
easy
conversation
segment
with a
into
random
this.
person, you try and look for something that you both know about, and usually that'd be TV shows. So I see this working when
That's-
you're starting
that's
to talk
true.
with a rando. Like, it's not the first question you ask,
Yeah, but then- yeah,
you
but
can,
exactly,
you
like,
can lead up to
The
it.
future of TV shows already there. Because it's like when you meet someone new and you're talking about someone, like let's say you do start talking about TV shows, you still want to talk about them on some level that you can like learn
Yeah, this
more
is-
about them. Whereas if you start
Yeah.
talking about like what do you think the future, it takes it too much away
I
from
think
the person.
I think this
you know?
this is more of a we've been talking about this TV show for a while. Let's go a bit deeper into it. You
Yeah,
know?
like I already know the
Yeah,
person a
yeah.
bit, so I don't
Yeah.
need to go through all the formalities of getting to know you. Like let's just
Yeah. So I'd give this one a 6 out of 10. And what are my thoughts on the future of TV? I think after a while they might get repetitive.
Repetitive? In what
Yeah.
way?
As in, they'll sort of start copying the same storyline.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
like
There's
that?
an infinite number of things you can film
Well,
and cast.
Thing is, I mean, I sometimes already see it. Yeah, you can change the story as much as you want, but it'll always have a similar plot.
Well, I think
Guy
that's-
saves girl. Girl
yeah, but see,
dies.
those are cliches. I think that's the difference between
Well,
cliches and
until
different
until
stories.
someone does something different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until someone does something different. Problem is, not everyone is making something different because they found the best formula to make the most money out of it.
For now.
For now, of course. For now, this is for now.
Yeah, so,
So-
eventually once that stops making money because people get bored of it,
Yeah.
then they'll change it.
Hopefully it happens. I mean, it sort of happened with the Mandalorian, sorta. But
Oh, I haven't watched it, so I wouldn't know.
it's
don't know
really
either.
good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Mandalorian was good. I understand the hype behind it.
I wouldn't know what I would say in terms of the content of or like storyline for the future of TV shows, but I do think that like it's already happening now. Netflix is basically TV shows. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. No
But-
one waits for their program to run every single week or at a
Yeah.
certain time of the day anymore. Like everything is accessible, instant.
For
Netflix.
binging. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? I completely blanked. Shoot. What? There we go. What I realized is lots of people also like to watch like old TV shows as well. They all want the nostalgia. Like everyone watches Friends. Everyone watches Community. Or not everyone. That one's less known. Modern Family. All those are shows that have been either stopped already or have been going on for years.
Yeah.
Like not many people will watch new shows. Sometimes they will,
those-
but then they binge watch it quickly.
Those old shows are then redistributed onto platforms like Netflix, where it is accessible
Yeah.
at any time you want. People no
Yeah.
longer have to wait for it to show on the live broadcast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I still wouldn't use it. I think it's a bit of a weird.
I think
I think TV in general is a bit of a kind of
an
a
interesting
awkward topic
yeah.
to talk about with someone that you don't know.
I think
Even with
TV
people that you do know, because it's kind of very. There's not a lot really to talk about unless you really want to get into the technical side of things.
I think when you start talking about TV with someone, it's more of like talking about a specific show.
Yeah, like one that you're both
we can talk
interested
about
in.
Sherlock, or we can talk about The Mandalorian, or we can talk about South Park, but we won't talk about like the whole genre behind it.
Yeah.
Or like TV shows in general.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. What was the next number? The one that you said, Juan?
125.
125. Scroll.
Okay.
What was the first band or musician you were really into, and do you still like them?
That's interesting.
That's good. Yeah.
First
Now that's
band
a good one.
or musician.
I think mine was Michael Jackson.
I'll have to think.
Mine was.
think I actually
I got into
know...
Michael Jackson, from what I remember. Because I mean, when I wasn't always I mean, I'm not a big music fan. Whenever I listen to a song, if I like it, I'm like, cool, I'll save it for later. But I won't like pour my life and soul into it. Like, remember the name of the band, buy their merch, go to their concerts. I don't do that sort of thing. If I like a song, I'll save it, listen to it whenever I want to. You know, I'm that kind of guy. But I remember Michael Jackson being like the first one I can fully remember. Looking up his music videos.
What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
I think the one I got really into was Thriller. It's between Thriller and Annie, Are You Okay?
Really? I like Billie Jean a lot. I think it's just the beat is very satisfying on that one.
No, sorry, Billie Jean. Billie Jean. Billie Jean and Thriller were the ones I remember the most.
What about you, Dave?
I think in terms of first musician or favorite Michael Jackson song?
No, musician.
Then you can do favorite Michael Jackson song.
Actually, that kind of ties in because I would say it was Michael Jackson as well.
Really?
When you mentioned it,
I was like,
thinking,
it's
I never knew you listened to Michael Jackson.
When he died,
I was a very big fan of it when he died. yeah,
no,
Really?
same
I only found out about
Those
him when he
people that
died.
bring back Michael.
What if Alexis? We were fucking 80 years old, bro. Come on, give us a break. You think we were already listening to Rex Orange County or War on Drugs? Like, they reached my soul.
I don't know. I've never
I'm
really
only
been
in
a.
pain.
I've never been a Michael Jackson person. I just didn't really. I
was
never
really
got
into Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
when
but
I
only
got
after
into it.
he died.
Yeah, because I only knew who he was when he died.
I think personally, that was like the first time where like I listened to the news and like social events and stuff was his death.
Really? The most like thing when Michael Jackson died, the most like the point where I realized like, okay, this guy was a big deal, because I didn't really know who he was until he died. Because I didn't listen to his music and I didn't really care because he was not my generation. So when he died, I didn't really understand. Like I realized, okay, this is a big guy, but I didn't realize how much of an impact he had on people's lives until about a few weeks, like a month or so after he died, maybe 2 months at this point. The whole family, we were in the car, and then we went to a McDonald's, the drive-thru. This was in another country. We were on like vacation. I can't remember where. I think it was Spain. And then when we're coming out of the drive-thru, you know how like they feed you into the parking lot of the McDonald's and then out back onto the highway usually. They had in the parking lot erected a big statue of Michael Jackson, and it was coated head to toe with letters and flowers like "We love you, Michael. Please come back," and literally head to toe covered in paper and letters and flowers and bouquets laid at its feet and everything. It was like. And I looked at the statue and I was like, who is this guy? And my parents were like, oh, that's Michael Jackson. I'm like, that was the period where I realized, like, okay, this guy was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. That's what he died. When did he die? Because I feel like that was around the age where we started, like, I guess having our own opinions and, like, starting to express, when you're, like, 8 or something?
He died at 2009, it says.
Yeah, okay, so we were 8 and 9, more or less. I think at around that age is like when... Yeah, around that age, that's when you sort of start liking things personally and like having something you like, and music as well. I think around 8 or 9 is when you get into it as well. So I think that's
How
why
about you,
Michael
Alexis?
Jackson might be.
I don't. I liked when I was younger. I really liked just listening to my parents' music, because my parents always play music in the house all the time. No matter what's going on or what time of day it is, there's just always music playing. So I didn't really have a need to go like get a music library for kind of a long time until I was like early teens. I think the first band that I kind of got into was probably One Republic or Green Day, but more so One Republic, because I started that was like the first recollection I have of like going on YouTube and like listening to their songs and like playing them on repeat. But I think, and I still have like One Republic songs in my playlist, so I think they were probably the first band I sort of started to like actually actively listen to. But I think realistically, if I consider like once I like started like really making my own music playlists and my own library and like expanding it, I think the first musician that I really started to like get all the songs from is probably Paolo Nutini, to be honest.
What was the name?
Paolo Nutini.
I do not.
He's a Scottish musician. I have like most of his music actually. I really like him. I'd say he's the first, because like One Republic I got into, but I only had like it was like 2 or 3 songs that I like constantly played. Paolo Nutini is the first time that I found a musician where I really went like, okay, yeah, all of this guy's stuff, and I just got like all of it, and I really like. To this day, like actually my 2020 Wrapped playlist. He's still considered my number 1 most listened to artist, and I'm actually in the top 0.5% of like listeners.
Jesus.
I listen to his music a lot. I really, really like his music.
Amazing.
Cool. I was just rethinking my answer, and I'm gonna change it because I just remembered that before Michael Jackson, I remember being in like primary school, and I'd go around with his iPod Nano, like
Oh my god,
those ones that were literally just a square, like that fit in your hand. And I would listen to Black Eyed Peas so much.
Black Eyed Peas. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Black Eyed Peas was the
so
shit.
I'm changing my answer to that. Yeah.
Oh shit, Black Eyed Peas.
Damn. Yeah, all those classic like songs, like the 2009 Cheese songs were just amazing. Like Dynamite, Teo Cruz, Jason Derulo, like all of that stuff is
those.
amazing.
I think those are what shaped us. And I guess our music taste in a way as well, sort of.
Oh
well,
no, I don't listen to that stuff anymore. I only listen to that from Cheese nowadays, but I do not like. That's like excessively like pop hip hop music.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's like I wouldn't listen to it consistently.
Not constantly.
It would be like a night out, you know?
Yeah. All right, let's go to number 6.
Yeah,
I like
wait,
number
what?
6.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, give us another number, but number 6 it is.
Number 6 is an interesting one.
And for the record, my favorite Michael Jackson song is "Rock with You." Okay, let's continue.
I remember
What's
also
your favorite
really
number?
got
Oh, I
into
actually know the
Queen.
answer to this. I actually have a favorite number.
What is this?
Yeah.
What's your favorite number and why?
Yeah.
All right, before we answer, would you use it to start a conversation?
Absolutely not. That's such a boring conversation starter.
I feel like this is one that you'd sort of say as a joke to like catch someone off guard.
Oh yeah, it's like, what's your favorite color? And someone goes blue, and you're like, wow, me too. Let's be best friends. Like,
Yeah, this is one you use sort of as a joke, like, so guys, you know, the teacher put us in this group together. I don't know anyone, so what's your favorite number? You know,
mine's 11.
11.
Now
I get it.
I think I don't really know why it's 11. If I had to give like a reason for it, I'd have to say that it's just like I find it a very satisfying number, because like my birthday's on the 22nd and 11 is half of that, and then 11 is also just the same number repeated twice, 1 1. So it's not like your typical 1 to 10 number, and it's not like number 1 or number 7 or like, you know, those things that people usually go for, or number 4. It's kind of like, because it's an odd number, people don't usually go for it. So it's also kind of unique, because you don't have people like, a lot of people, I've actually, somehow I have asked people this question before, or like similar questions, and a lot of people I like always say something like, oh, it's like 2, or it's like 4, or like things with like multiples of 2 or multiples of 6 or something, kind of like they go nicely, but no one ever says like awkward numbers, and I don't know. I really like 11. Just I find it a very satisfying number.
I see why. I get the reasoning. 11 is pretty satisfying.
Well, with that said, my favorite number is 2.
I knew it.
So,
See?
yeah, if I try to give a reason for it, I guess, yeah, it's the very satisfying thing. I guess, yeah, I used to do everything twice when I was younger. I still do like a few
OCD
things
much?
like that,
OCD?
like yeah, like kind of OCD nowadays. But I was really much more like that when I was younger. I remember like not only flipping through the volume of the TV, it had to be on an even number, but things like if I was as a kid walking down the street with like my mom or something going shopping or whatever, and I accidentally bump into her arm, and she goes somewhere else, I would have to like go after her and bump into like the same arm again. But if it wasn't like satisfying enough, or if it didn't match the first one, I would have to like, okay, this I need to do it again. But if I do it 3 times, that's odd.
You must
So I
have
do
been
it 4 times.
You must have been a really weird child to like see walking
It
around,
annoyed
just
my
smashing
mom,
into
like-
things.
It annoyed the crap out of my mom. Like,
Like, can you imagine? You see, like a toddler, just like a 4 year old toddler, running down the street, trips, goes, oh shit! You watch him run 5 meters and just trip again, and then just
I
like
would have probably gone like a few steps
and
back so I could
yeah,
trip
I
at the
was about to say
same
that,
place.
Like, you get up, you see him like examine himself and go, paces back, runs and trips in the same spot again.
Oh, how about you, Juan? Do you have a favorite number?
I've been thinking it. I generally I can't really think of a specific number. The first one that comes to mind, I guess, would be 26, but that's
26?
only because of my birthday.
Oh,
I don't know.
I see.
Right.
It's between that or 15, because 15 is quite nice. I don't know. I like multiples of 5. I don't know why, but multiples of 5 are nice.
Always the volume on the TV is always a multiple of 5.
Exactly. 15. It's between 15 and 26. I don't know. 26 just because it's my birthday, and 15 because it's nice. But I don't really have a specific one.
I could see 26
Yeah,
because of
26 is-
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, but also, I mean, not everyone
Also-
would say 26 usually. I guess. I hope not.
To be fair, not everyone would say 2, not everyone would say 3. I mean, like,
True. My actual favorite number is 1,354.
It's like the 56th digit of pi. Like that one specifically.
But only that one.
You're like one of those people, like, yeah, I like 2.3 recurring.
Oh, God.
Like, why? It's just.
Okay. I'd say we've gone around for a little more than an hour. It's already, yeah. How about we choose like maybe 3 more of these questions from this list, and
Sure.
then
Okay.
we'll call it there, just
Yeah,
so that we
sure.
don't go forever.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
yeah, we could probably go on for a while. All right, Alexis, you can pick a
yeah.
number now. Or Dean, sorry, Dean, you didn't say a
Oh, I
number
picked?
actually yet. Yeah, you didn't say a number yet.
From to 200 and we're at 250. I want to see what the last one is.
Alright. Well, there's a lot more than 250, actually.
Yeah, there is a lot more.
Okay, then the very last one.
The last one is number. Oh shoot.
276.
75.
76.
76.
A portal to
A
another
portal.
world opens in front of you. You don't know how long it will stay open or if you'll be able to get back after you go through. What do you do?
That's a very different type of question than
What's
this
first
is
few
very
hundred.
number?
I think it's because because each of the questions are sort of in groups. So like, there's one about food.
Oh, they categorize them?
Yeah, they categorize. So this one's weird conversation starters.
I see.
These are more interesting questions.
A portal opens to another world. Okay.
What would you do?
So, what is it like? Would you go through it or not?
All right. First, would you use this to start a conversation?
Yeah.
Maybe if I was really bored
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
nights.
My brother likes
Yeah.
to do this, actually. He likes to, like, dream up annoyingly hypothetical situations that will just never happen and are so ridiculous. Like, what would you do with $1 million? What would you buy? What would be the first if you had
really,
everything?
Alexis, really?
I'm just like,
$1 million?
I don't what
You believe you won't get $1 million?
No, just some ridiculous sum. Like, let's say money is no object, right? Then and I'm just like, who cares? I find those really annoying because I'm like, it's such a stupid question. Like, I mean, this is more fun though. I'd probably throw a stick into it. See what it does.
I had a similar answer, but I'd throw a stick in with a string attached to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
the scientist speaking here. Well, I wouldn't go through it. Screw that. If I just saw one appear, like.
Well, would you see it appear, or would you just stumble upon it?
Well, it just says a portal to another world opens in front of you.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you would.
What if?
So in this scenario, do you know that it goes to another world?
Yeah, I
probably.
guess so.
Pretty sure if you see a portal open, I think you can guess.
You know what I would do actually? Take a camera, right, and only put in the lens bit, and then I can see through the other side. What is there?
Well, I mean, you might not there might be some electromagnetic forces which distort the cameras.
Well,
I don't know.
As you said, it might. So there is a possibility.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a plausible.
Okay, let's say right now, okay, you're forced to make a decision, go through, don't go through. That's it. You don't have any. You can't examine it first or anything. You just straight up, would you, wouldn't you? And if you don't go through, the portal will close, and there's nothing you can ever do or say that'll make someone believe you. That's it. You have to if you want to convince people that you've done it or something, you need to go through it.
You remember, Dean?
That's a tough one.
Do you remember, Dean, that thing I told you earlier today while I was at this station? By the way, Alexis, I'm reading Enlightenment Now. I forgot to tell you. Oh, are you?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm only through chapter 7 now anyway.
But
one of the things that got me that was really interesting to me was the fact that he said if you ask someone what would make your day better, they'd give a few answers, of luck and stuff. But when you ask someone what would make your day worse, they can go on forever. Yeah. And that's sort of what's happening to me right now.
Yeah.
I can think of few scenarios where it's oh, good things can happen if I go through.
Oh, yeah.
But then countless of bad scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
Sort of happening right now. I don't know. This is the moment where you start thinking,
well, I mean, I guess, aside, I think maybe don't read into it too much. As in, would you get, mauled to death by an alien? I mean, just, would the thrill of discovery be enough to push you through it?
Remember Rick and Morty, the Blender World? I mean...
Yeah.
That's the main thing going through my head right now.
The Blender dimension, yeah.
Okay, if I knew that this opportunity is only happening here and now, and it'll never come again, and I can never convince anyone that I saw this, then I would probably very reluctantly go in. Other than that, I would not.
Thing is, though, they leave it open answered, so there is a chance. It's a 50-50 that you could go back through it again.
Yeah, but it says... you don't know if you'll be able to get back after you go through.
But it's exactly 50-50.
Yeah.
You either can go back through or you can't.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't. I still think I wouldn't. Just considering the fact that you might not be able to get back through, and I feel I'm not sure whether the ability to go through and come back would outweigh the chance of being caught left behind.
Yeah, true.
Right. Yeah.
True. No, I think I wouldn't either, just because it'd be weird. I think in a way that's you go to another world, you'd have to start over as someone new. You've got nothing. I don't know, here we already have things, we already have life and stuff. Starting all over, and you're already 20, you're not a baby, no one will take care of you.
Yeah, sure.
No, I guess, I don't know, it's a weird answer, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like only in the case that I knew for a fact that I would be the only person who knew about this thing's existence, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I'd gone through the rest of my life knowing this, and like basically the entire rest of my life would be ruined. That's the only thing I'll be thinking about.
What was on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that happening.
Juan, why don't you pick the second last question?
Let's go with Lucky 100.
100. It's this always this silence when everyone is scrolling.
Do you prefer to watch movies in the theater or in the comfort of your own home?
Oh,
Huh.
that's a good question. And I've thought about this before.
How
I think it depends on the scenario.
Yeah, it does.
Wait, would you rate it? Would you use this to start a conversation with someone?
No. I don't think I'd use any of these. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
I'd probably use those weird questions at the end, like just to like sort of as an icebreaker and as a joke thing.
I would use
just
them
to get
like
people laughing.
Like let's take the Portal one for example. I think I would consider using that if it was like because there's kind of stages in getting to know someone. There's the first time you meet someone, and it's like
definitely wouldn't use anything.
And then there's
time.
the level we're on where you know someone for years, and it's like okay, I think I would use like the Portal one if it's like the second or the third time you're meeting up. So you're still like pretty new, and you don't really know a lot about each other yet, but you know like who you guys are, like everything. Then I think I would just throw that in for the fun of it. I think then yes.
I'd use that one like you're at a bar or at a restaurant with a group of people, and everyone's just sort of quiet, trying to think of something to say. That's when I'd use some of these.
Yeah, I feel like this one in particular, I could find myself. I wouldn't use it for someone new.
Day.
Or even someone I know with like out of context. But I could see myself asking this to someone who, I don't know, I've discussed movies before with.
Yeah.
And
what do you think? Would you prefer to watch movies in the theater?
It would depend. Like if I'm alone, then I'd definitely prefer to watch them at home. But if I'm with people, then probably a movie theater. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. Although I do go to movie theaters alone a lot.
I've never been to one alone, actually.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't.
I think it is something I do kind of want to try. Just going to watch a movie on my own, just vibing, enjoying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a sort of same answer: movie theater with friends, and then comfort at home.
Yeah.
Watching a movie.
I think for me, it would depend a lot on what movie I was watching as well. Like if it was something that I wasn't, I've never watched before, and I was really anticipating, because I knew it was gonna be good or of value, I would probably go to the theater sometimes I ask myself, is it really better to watch in the theater? And then when I'm at the theater, I'm like, this is so much better. The audio, the screen is so big.
Like the THX, like the THX logo and intro, because it was just like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think it would probably depend actually. Like if it's like a blockbuster movie, then I'd definitely go to the cinema. But if it's like a kind of a comedy or like a more like a rom-com kind of movie, then I'd watch those at home. I wouldn't go to the theaters for those.
Yeah.
Okay, Alexis, pick our last question from this list.
I will pick. Damn, that's a lot of questions.
A lot of it's at stake right now. Couldn't speak there.
Okay.
Done.
222.
Ooh, I like that number.
222.
I think I like every number. Every number is unique in its own way.
When do you want to retire? What do you want to do when you retire? Huh. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We have jobs.
I still don't know what I want to do before I retire.
Yeah.
This is never really thought about this that much. I'd say leave it up to me
To
in the
fate.
future.
Yeah.
If as long as my thoughts on it are, I'll leave it up to me in the future, then I won't need to
Yeah.
think about it.
I think
But I
one
think-
thing. Yeah. What one?
I think for this question, I would rephrase it and say, what would you want to do if you had all the time in the world?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get at as well. Because I was gonna be
Yeah.
like, well, I think one thing that I want to make sure is that even now, I think when I do retire, I'd want to make sure that I'm comfortable and that I have someone to just, I think, go places with.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
That's sort
Yeah,
of.
I like your way of phrasing it better.
Yeah. What would you
Because
do?
when it says, when do you want to retire? Now. I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I don't want
that's
to live.
something,
If I could live the rest of my life happy and like not.
But Dean, who's gonna make my 85 drink when I come over?
Yeah, Dean, what the heck, man? Someone's got to make our
What's up
bubble
with
tea.
that? Slacking.
Also,
yeah.
guys, use the code UNIBEANS at 85 in Antwerp, and Dean will give you a 10% discount.
That's not true. don't go there.
Do it.
It's true.
Do
Trust
not
me, trust
mention
me.
my name there.
Do it. Dean, just look for Dean in Antwerp, Belgium. Just doxing him on podcast.
Well, okay.
85, guys. 85.
I think. Oh, geez. Let me check how long we've been going for. Actually,
hour
my
and
phone is
13
taped to the
minutes.
table. Can one of you guys
It's
check?
an hour and 13 minutes. An hour and 14 now.
Hey, that's.
I think that's an adequate amount of time.
Yeah, that's enough. All right. I guess outro time. Thank you all for listening. Special thanks to Alexis for joining in for today's first episode of Late Nighters.
Okay,
That
cool.
box just stopped. Whoops. I just put my leg on the wall. What else can I say? Join us hopefully every week. If you're listening to this and we just released this, awesome. Check out UniBeans, where we'll be posting more videos soon. Tomorrow we start interviewing Alexis and Blasina, another medical student.
Yes.
And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for your time, Alexis. And
Thank
thank you for
you.
watching.
Well, the way the idea we had to make these outros is actually to end it with an outro
Oh
song.
yes, right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Thank
And-
you, Dean, for reminding me. Alexis, you're the music fan. You're the music knower
Oh god,
in
please
our
don't
in
put
our
that
group.
label on me.
The music man.
Please don't.
Alexis is our music man.
Please
the
stop
DJ.
saying that. Seriously, please stop saying that.
No. That's your role now. In fact, I'm gonna put that in.
I do not pretend to be a music connoisseur at all. For anyone
Anyways,
that's interested.
Alexis will be choosing the recommended song of the week.
No, not of
Alexis,
the
you
week.
can-
What are you talking
Of the
about?
week. Oh, of whenever we want to
Yeah.
post these. Of whenever
Recommended
we want to make
song.
these.
Recommended song of the Late Nighters.
Can we,
Of
can
the
we,
podcast.
Can we stop putting so much importance on this? Like,
Recommended song of the podcast.
we thought it'd be fun if we ended podcast, or if they ended podcast with an outro song, and I decided, I'm gonna go pick that for every time that happens.
Well, Dean decided that he would do that.
But
But,
agree
yeah,
to
Well, I
disagree.
didn't want to
Alexis-
put you on the spot, but you have good music. That's
Okay.
why.
It's true. Alexis has good music. So,
Yeah.
Alexis, take it over from here.
Okay, so in that case, the outro song for this episode is going to be Keep On Walking by John Allen from his album Blue Flame.
You've been chasing shadows in the fault lines of your past. You've been sailing blindfold with your back tied to the mast. Don't give in to bitterness when it's snapping at your heels. It takes a dream to see it, blood, sweat, and tears to make it real. You got to keep on walking when your heart is sinking low. Keep on walking when you feel like letting go. Keep on walking, 'cause I know it won't be long if you keep on walking and hold on. You can't teach a turtle how to crawl into the sea. You can't know the future, that's just the way it has to be. can't turn the clock back, you can't change what's gone before. But if you just believe it, you can't open any door. You got to keep on walking when your heart is sinking low. Keep on walking when you feel like letting go. Keep on walking, 'cause I know it won't be long if you keep on walking. And hold on, don't get burned out from running blind. Work that dream out, one step at a time. Ain't no struggle, ain't no suffering or pain won't be rewarded when the winds of fortune change. Don't let those snappers and backbiters bring you down. Keep your head together and your good foot on the ground. You got to keep on walking when your heart is sinking low. Keep on walking when you feel like letting go. Keep on walking, 'cause I know it won't be long if we keep on walking. And hold on, so keep on walking when your heart is sinking low. Keep on walking when you feel like letting go. Keep on walking, 'cause I know